He clutched a crumpled resume in one hand and his daughter's tiny fingers in the other. He had nothing left to lose. And when he saw Elon Musk step out of that building, he did something no one expected. David Miller hadn't slept properly in weeks. The backseat of his battered Honda Civic had become his home, and his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, his only reason to keep going. Every morning they woke up in a Walmart parking lot, brushing their teeth in gas station restrooms, surviving on dollar burgers and hope. But today felt different. Maybe it was the way the sun broke through the clouds, or maybe it was the way Lily looked at him, eyes full of trust, unaware of how close they were to losing everything. David smoothed his shirt, folded and refolded his resume, and whispered to himself, one last chance. He had heard that Tesla was hosting an event downtown, not for hiring, not for interviews, just a showcase of innovation and clean energy. But he didn't care, because David Miller wasn't looking for a job anymore. He was looking for a miracle. David stood across the street from the Tesla Innovation Center, clutching his daughter's hand as sleek cars and sharp suits passed them by without a second glance. His jeans were faded, his shirt pressed as best as he could manage, and his resume creased and weathered, tucked tightly under his arm. He didn't belong here. Everyone else knew it, but he stood tall for Lily. "Are we gonna meet the robot guy today?" she asked with a hopeful smile. David forced a grin. "Maybe, if we're lucky." Hours passed. The event buzzed with reporters, engineers, and tech investors. David waited quietly at the edge of the crowd, ignored and overlooked until a subtle hush spread through the group. That's when he saw him, Elon Musk. He wasn't surrounded by a massive entourage, just a few team members trailing behind as he moved from exhibit to exhibit. David's heart pounded. This was it, the moment, the last shot he had before everything fell apart. But what would he even say? He looked down at Lily. Her shoelace was untied, her face smudged with dust, but her eyes were glowing. She believed in him more than he believed in himself. So he stepped forward, one shaky step at a time. As Elon turned toward a waiting Tesla, David opened his mouth and spoke 3 trembling words. "Mr. Musk, please." At first, no one noticed him. A few security guards shifted uneasily, stepping forward to intercept. But Elon Musk paused. Those 3 words had cut through the noise like a pin dropping in a cathedral. He turned, eyes meeting David's. There was no arrogance, no impatience, just curiosity. David's voice cracked as he held out his resume with a shaking hand. "I'm not asking for charity, sir. I need a chance." For her, he glanced down at Lily, who was now gripping his leg tightly. The guards hesitated, waiting for a signal. Elon raised a hand to stop them. He stepped closer to David. "What's your name?" he asked, calm but firm. "David Miller. I used to be a machine technician, 13 years experience in Detroit, until the plant shut down. I lost everything after that. My wife, she passed last year. It's just me and my daughter now." Elon looked at the resume. It was stained at the edges, some of the ink slightly smudged, but it was real. Detailed, honest. "You're here, in person, with your daughter, asking for a job," Elon said quietly, as if testing the reality of it. David nodded. "I don't want sympathy. I just want to build again. I want to give her a home." There was a moment of silence, and then Elon did something that stunned everyone around. He crouched down to Lily's level and said, "What's your name?" "Lily," she whispered. "Well, Lily," Elon said, "how would you feel if your dad helped me build rockets?" Lily's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. "He builds really good stuff," she said proudly, looking up at her dad. Elon smiled. The crowd stood frozen. Phones lowered. Conversations stopped. No one had expected this. Not from Elon Musk, the billionaire engineer known for his brilliance but rarely his sentiment. But in that moment, it wasn't about headlines. It wasn't about tech. It was about humanity. Elon rose and glanced at one of his assistants. "Get his information. Schedule an evaluation. I want him at the Hawthorne facility next week." David blinked, stunned. "Wait, you mean you said you want to build again?" Elon said, folding the resume neatly. "Let's see what you can do." David's legs almost gave out. He turned away for a second, wiping the tears that had finally broken through. "Thank you," he whispered. "You don't know what this means." Elon looked at him with quiet resolve. "I think I do." As Elon walked away, the assistant approached David with a clipboard and warm eyes. "Come with me. Let's get you set up." Lily tugged her father's sleeve. "Does this mean we won't sleep in the car tonight?" David knelt down and held her tightly. "No, baby. We're going home soon." The following week, David walked into the Hawthorne SpaceX facility wearing a donated button-down shirt, cleaned and pressed by a local shelter. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from hope. It had been years since he walked into a place with the smell of metal, grease, and possibility. The team didn't go easy on him. He was tested. Skills, knowledge, precision. He worked late, studied manuals, and relearned everything he thought he'd forgotten. And he thrived. Within a month, David had impressed his supervisors with his work ethic, his attention to detail, and the calm leadership that came naturally. He wasn't just trying to survive anymore. He was building again. Meanwhile, Lily was enrolled in a nearby school. Her teachers described her as bright, joyful, and always talking about how her dad builds rockets now. David used his first paycheck to put a deposit down on a small apartment. Nothing fancy, just 2 rooms and a tiny kitchen. But it had a bed for Lily and a table for them to eat together. One night she taped a crayon drawing on the fridge. It was her dad, and a rocket ship. At the bottom she'd written, "Thank you, Mr. Elon." Months passed and David's life began to reshape in ways he hadn't dared dream. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was thriving. He moved from the small SpaceX workshop to a more significant role, leading teams and taking on projects that challenged him in ways he had never experienced before. He was back in control, and this time it wasn't just for himself. It was for Lily. But the moment he would never forget came one afternoon, as he worked late into the night in the factory. The door opened, and in walked Elon Musk. Not with a team, not for a business meeting, but to check on the progress of his new hire. "David," Elon said, his voice calm but direct, "you've exceeded my expectations. We're giving you a lead position on the Mars exploration team." David's heart stopped. I don't even know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Elon replied. "You've done the work. You've earned it." The next day, David went home to the apartment, his eyes filled with the weight of his success. When Lily saw the excitement in his face, she ran to him. "Dad, what happened?" "I'm leading a team now, kiddo," David said, holding her tightly. "We're going to build something incredible together. We're going to be all right." And as the days passed, David realized something he hadn't fully understood until that moment. Elon Musk didn't just give him a job. He gave him a future. A chance to rebuild not just his life, but to show his daughter that even the darkest moments can lead to the brightest possibilities. Elon's small act of kindness had been the spark that reignited his belief in himself. And now, David was building the future. David's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes all it takes is one moment, one person, to change everything. If you believe in second chances, if you're ready to see the good in the world, hit that like button. Share this video, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. You never know, your next big break could be just around the corner.